Have you ever heard about the foods we call the perfect plugs? These are foods we generally consider dangerous in kids 4 years and younger because they perfectly plug the airway and are choke risks. As a pediatric emergency medicine doctor, the most common causes of choking I see in the emergency room are from food. Babies and kids 4 years and younger have a very narrow airway. Their windpipe is just about the size of a straw. Also, they do not have their complete set of teeth. The ones 2 years and younger do not have molars yet, so they basically grind their food. The ones 3 to 4 years may have molars, but they have not completely figured out the concept of chewing, so they tend to grind and then swallow. So all this combination places them at higher risk of choking from food. So in this video, I am going to discuss 6 foods we always generally recommend avoiding for children 4 years and younger, but also discuss safer tips and options of ways you might be able to present these foods to them. The number one perfect plug is hot dog. Yes, hot dogs are fun and tasty. They're served at almost every birthday parties, but they're the number one dangerous foods actually for kids younger than 4. The outer surface of a hot dog is very slippery and smooth and makes it very easy to slide into the airway. On the other hand, the shape is round and very perfect to plug into the airway and wedge in, which increases the chance of a baby choking on hot dog. This is one food we always recommend skipping, but we also understand that kids want to try out different foods. If you want to serve your child a hot dog, we definitely recommend cutting it in small bites lengthwise. Next on the list, which has the same shape as a hot dog, are raw carrots. Regular carrots, baby carrots. Baby carrots' name are actually very deceptive. It is not for babies. Carrots are very difficult to chew, and for babies, they just grind and try to swallow them. That exposes them to risk of choking because the huge chunks can get plugged into their tiny airways. The best way to offer carrots to babies are either by grating them, or you can cook them to be super mushy, and you can smash them up that way it just melts in their mouth. Next on the list, which is actually very surprising and a lot of people don't know about, are raw and dried apples. So apples are very difficult for babies to chew. The back of an apple has this very firm texture that makes them just kind of gnaw and grind it and attempt to swallow them. And because they're also very slippery, they attempt to just swallow, so it slides in easily into the airway and may get stuck. Safer ways to offer apples are by grating them, or you can cook them to get a little bit softer, or even make an applesauce. As your kids get older, they may be able to hold and eat raw apples. You probably might know this one already, but grapes are a serious choking hazard, regardless of the size. The size of even the smallest grape is just about the size of the airway, and it can go in there and get stuck. So grapes are small and round and smooth on the outside, so babies just generally put it in their mouth, and before you know what's going on, it slides into the airway. Other classes of foods that are very similar to grapes are the blueberries, the baby tomatoes, and they all have the same concept of increasing the risk of choking in babies. The safest way to offer these foods to them are to cut them in very small quarters, especially if your child also goes to daycare, regardless of the age, as long as they're younger than 4, even 5 years of age. The best and the safest way to give for them a grape is by cutting them in small quarters. This next one was actually a shocker to me because I learned this only after becoming a pediatrician. And growing up, my mom would offer us this when we were as young as 2. And I actually did offer it to my kids before I learned that it was a choking risk. So nuts. Nuts are choking risks to kids, and we usually do not recommend them before the ages of 4. So nuts are very small and very hard and difficult for babies to chew. So what they tend to do is just swallow the nuts, or in some cases they aspirate these nuts and it goes into their airway and lung. So a lot of people say that this doesn't really make sense because the AAP is recommending introducing allergenic foods like nuts to babies once they're older than 6 months. So yes, you can still offer your children nuts. We cannot offer them whole nuts. You can grate them, you can ground them, or you can offer them nut paste, which now brings me to the next food that's also a choking risk. So nut paste, peanut butter, almond butter, different butter paste are things we can offer our children just to expose them to allergens that come to nuts. But this has to do with the amount and the quantity we're offering them. Nut pastes are very sticky and slippery, and they can easily slide into their child's airway and just stick there and not go down. So we always recommend to avoid giving them huge spoons or huge chunks of nut paste, and maybe just give them a smudge. And another option is to put them on toast. Spreading nut paste on toast they're going to eat decreases the likelihood of them actually swallowing the sticky paste and getting stuck on their throat or their airways. Are you ready for the final one? This might be shocking to you, but popcorn. Popcorn is also a very serious choking risk, which a lot of people don't know about because it's fun, it looks soft, but I have seen a lot of children who choked and aspirated on popcorn. Popcorn is very light that it's not well chewed by kids. Also, the shape is a little bit irregular, so it has so many places and locations that it might get stuck in a child's airway. There's also the concern of having a mix of very well popped popcorn and the unpopped kernels inside the bag. And what happens is babies and kids just grab and shove in their mouth, and the kernels might easily be aspirated on and it goes into the lung. One of the most dangerous parts of popcorns and also nuts is kids can easily aspirate into this, so they develop symptoms of coughing after choking and subsequently feel better. But a couple of days down the line, kids develop symptoms of difficulty breathing, unable to sleep at night. These are concerning for aspiration, and we always recommend bringing your child into the emergency room to get checked out if they have any concerns of choking, even if they recovered and felt better. So what's the safest way to offer popcorn to children younger than 4? Unfortunately, this is one of those we have no safe ways to recommend, and we always say to totally skip it till your child is about 5 years of age when they can chew and actually tolerate popcorn. If you have not grabbed my first aid ebook on how to manage 50 common illnesses and injuries in children, feel free to click the link in this bio so it can take you directly to the ebook so you can stay prepared if your child ever needs care. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment below and tell me how you already offer this food to your babies or what alternatives you offer and how you feed your children safely.